Hey guys, I'm Dennis. Welcome back to my channel, Guy with a Plant. In today's episode, I'm going to have a quick update on the progress of the propagation of my Scindapsus in my previous video 3 months ago. Okay, let's start off in the same order as my previous video, which is the Scindapsus silver cloud. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I'm not sure whether you can hear the noise coming from the constructions opposite my building, but if you do, so sorry, just bear with it. I hope the noise is minimal. Okay, let's start off with the silver cloud. Let's see. Alright, so these are the cuttings in sphagnum moss. Actually, for 3 months, it hasn't really grown much. I'm not sure whether are they rooted. Yeah, I think there are some roots here, so they should be rooted. But in terms of leaf growth, I think these two are the new leaves. See these pretty small ones. Okay, but I got a leaf that is already dying. This is totally yellow. And yeah, I think even this is actually a new leaf because it feels really soft, but this is yellowing as well. And look at this, it's totally curled up. I tend to forget about this one and it dries up really fast because this is not closed. Initially it was closed, but it started to grow taller, so I have to open it up, and I sometimes forget to keep this sphagnum moss moist, so that's why the leaves are always curled up most of the time. Okay, so let's remove them from the moss and take a look whether are there any roots. Okay, I can already feel that the part of the moss are already drying up. Oh, and this is not even rooted yet. Maybe one tiny root here. Yeah. Oh, but this one has a pretty decent size root. Okay, now I know why this is so curled up, because there is totally no root. I think I'm doing a very bad job in propagating these cuttings to keep them really moist. Again, no roots. Oh, okay. There is a root for this one and it's pretty good. It's a very long root. So this is ready to be potted up. Alright, for this tiny one, it has a root here and it has a new growth, but unfortunately the root is in a very awkward location, so I'm not sure how can I actually pot this up, the root being here. So yeah, let's see. And the last cutting, yep, again not rooted, so that's why it's really curled up. So for those with roots, I'm going to pot them up. And for those without roots, I'm just going to put them back in further, and this time around I'll make sure that they are really kept moist. Right, for this with the yellow leaf, I'm just going to remove the leaf. Yep, and yeah, just propagate this stem. Alright, so I have 3 cuttings that are rooted, so I'm going to pot this up. And for the other 3 that are unrooted, I'm just going to pop them back in. Let's put the moss back. Maybe they'll do better in water, but because of the length of the stems, it's really difficult to give them water. So I'm going to just water this later. Alright, before I pot up the rooted cuttings, let's look at the other silver clouds. Right, this is the parent plant, the original one. I think it was leafless. I can't really remember, or was there a single leaf? Anyway, it has grown another 3 leaves. This is the latest one, as you can see. It's very light. This could be the original, or was there any leaf? I can't remember. I got to refer back to the video. Yeah, it's really dry. So growing very slowly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pot this rooted cutting back together with the original one. Okay, let's do it now. Oh wait, I think there is another cutting here which I've forgotten. It could be a silver cloud as well. Okay, this cutting is in perlite. So the original leaf has died off. Can you see the brown one here? So it has given me two new leaves which are really small. Okay, before I do this, let's remove this from the perlite and take a look. Not sure whether there's any roots. Nope. Oh, okay. Right, this one is not rooted. Okay, but this one, there are some roots, so I can pot this up. I'm just going to put it back together with the ones in sphagnum moss. The rooted cutting in perlite together with those which are rooted in moss, I'm going to pot them together with the original plant. Let me try to remove, yep. Oh, this is really quite dry. Yeah, and these are some of the older roots which are totally dry. I'm going to recycle the old pot. I'm going to use back the old potting medium, but I'm going to mix this and refresh it with some of the newer aeroid mix. Got good roots, so yeah, in it goes. I'm going to put in all the rest of the cuttings which are rooted. Alright, so all the cuttings of the silver clouds are potted up together with the original one. Okay, next let's look at the stem cuttings of the silver cloud which I've placed in sphagnum moss inside a Ziploc bag. Yeah, and look at this, they have grown and I can see they are very well rooted. There are leaves as well, but the stems are really long because I think they are not getting enough light. Yeah, so let's get them out and put it in a proper potting medium. I want to take a look at the roots. I'll try to remove most of the moss. Right, this stem is dead. Okay, I've never watered this cuttings in this bag because there's no need to. Yeah, I'm just going to cut off the yellow parts and pot them up. Alright, so these are the tiny cuttings. Okay, I'm going to recycle some of the sphagnum moss. Just put it at the base. Some aeroid mix. Okay, this is done. It's looking so cute. This tiny baby Scindapsus. Okay, let me try to clear up the stuff here before I proceed to the next one. The next Scindapsus is the jade satin. Let me show you the original one, the mother plant. I think there wasn't much left at the point in time. There was only a single leaf after I've chopped off all the dead plant material. So this was the original leaf left standing. Okay, and since then it has given me these new leaves which are bigger, and there's a new one that is unfurling. Remember there was a growth point here, but it's still not growing out, so I'm not sure what's happening. This is the original one that was a single leaf, and yeah, it's looking pretty good now. Hopefully it'll take off really soon and give me a nice large pot of jade satin. Yeah, I think that's all for the jade satin. There's nothing else. Okay, so the last Scindapsus I'm going to show you is the Silver Hero. These are the cuttings in water propagation, and I must say it's looking really nice. Of all the three Scindapsus here, this seems to be the hardiest one, this Silver Hero. Yeah, because the leaves are really quite blemish free. They are not yellowing. Wow, all ready to be potted up. The roots are perfect. So really nice, and it's starting to circle around the pot. So it's really time to pot them up. Yeah, but before I do so, let's take a look at another set of cuttings, which I propagated in water as well in this bigger container. And as you can see, there are roots. But I think because of the position of the cuttings, the roots are not as robust, not as much. But nonetheless, they are still rooted, so I can pot them out together. And as you can see, there's a small baby leaf here and here. So I think there are some new growth in addition to the roots. But of course, I've lost a leaf. You can see this has turned yellow. So these are the newer leaves. I'm surprised they are still doing so well in this container. For 3 months, I've done nothing. I don't think I've given it a lot of light. In fact, really not much light in its current location. Got to remove them gently. Because this is one dead leaf. So all the cuttings have rooted. This one. Yeah, this is not even a cutting, this is still a vine. So I may cut this up. There's a new growth here. This is also rooted with a new leaf. Since there are quite a few cuttings, I'm going to use a bigger pot. I think this is about 15 cm across. This is kind of like a self-watering pot with a base attached. I'm going to cut off this long vine first into two. I don't have to worry because there's actually root in each part. Put in some aroid mix. To put in the main cutting, the one with the most robust root ball. And for the rest of the cuttings, I'm just going to put it by the side. This is like a floral arrangement. Okay, going to add in more of the potting mix. Alright, and so this is done. I really love how lush this is looking. And the grey pot actually complements the silvery leaves. So it's looking really nice. Okay, and lastly, let's look at the stem cuttings of the silver hero that I've placed in sphagnum moss and the Ziploc bag. As you can see, there are growth just like the silver cloud. So this way of propagating the stem is really quite effective. I have a lot of leaves and I believe there are roots as well. So this is a combination of moss and perlite. Cuttings seem to like it. Oh, this is so tiny. And look at the heart-shaped leaf. Another tiny one with a single root. So again, some of the stems are yellowing. I think that's too much. I shouldn't have left such a long stem of the cutting. Just going to snip it off. Right, so this stem cutting has a root but no leaf. This one has a weird leaf. Doesn't look like a Scindapsus, kind of elongated. So I'm not sure what this is. Yeah, maybe it's just a weird one. I think I'm going to recycle some of the moss and perlite combo. I'm going to mix this with the aroid mix. Alright, so these are also potted up. Look how cute they are. These are the baby silver heroes. I will keep you guys updated on their growth. Hopefully they will grow up to be more regular size. I'm not sure whether will they survive out of the bag. Yep. Note to self, I really need to keep them very moist, as they're used to that kind of condition, especially those in water propagation. Yeah, so I guess that's all. Oh wait, I have this container here, this prop box. I realize I have some cuttings of Scindapsus, but I am absolutely not sure what they are. So let's take them out and take a look. So they are not very rooted, but you can see there are some growth points. Yeah, and this one has a leaf coming out. But I'm not sure what this is. Silver cloud. Or are these exoticas that I dumped in previously? This has a root and a leaf, looking really nice. And yeah, there are some here as well. So not sure what they are. This not rooted. Yeah, this is not rooted, but it has a leaf. So I'm just going to keep them in for the time being. The best one is this one. That's the best looking, but I'm just going to leave them in for a little while longer. Right, I'm definitely going to give these guys some water because they have been in this very wet environment for a while. I can't afford to let them dry out. I really like this pot of Silver Hero. It's looking really lush now. So yeah, I would say this is quite a success, especially these baby ones. They are so tiny and so adorable. So if you're a big trailing or a leggy Scindapsus, don't worry, just give it a cut and you'll get more plants out of the cuttings. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope you have enjoyed this, and if you do, I hope you can consider subscribing to my channel and also on the notification bell. Meanwhile, take care. I'll see you guys again in my next video. And remember to give your plants some love.